From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world. This is the Morning Rundown.
Today is Monday, August 26th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kara Rucker. There are concerns this morning of the war in the Middle East expanding into a larger conflict after Israel and Hezbollah militants in Lebanon had their biggest exchange of fire since the conflict broke out in the region 10 months ago. Both sides are claiming victories. On Sunday, Israel launched what it described as a preemptive strike against a major attack that Hezbollah was planning to launch on Israeli soil. Israel saying 100 of its military planes successfully took out thousands of rocket launcher barrels, and in the process of taking out some of its arsenal, 6 Hezbollah fighters were killed. Hours later, Israel's missile defense system intercepted 300 rockets and drones launched by Hezbollah toward Israel. Israel Defense Forces say one Navy officer was killed after being hit by shrapnel when an Iron Dome was intercepting the drones. Hezbollah's leader, in a televised address, called this a victory for their side, saying the attack was in retaliation for the recent assassination of one of its founders. Netanyahu says this attack will not be the final word. ISIS has now claimed responsibility for a deadly stabbing attack in Germany that happened Friday night during a festival. A 26-year-old man from Syria has been arrested after he turned himself into police, saying he was responsible for the knife attack that left 3 people dead and 8 people injured. Officials say the man has radical Islamist beliefs and wanted to kill as many people as possible. ISIS said in a statement on Saturday the man is a soldier for the Islamic State who was targeting Christians in his attack. The festival was commemorating the 650th anniversary of the Western German city of Solingen. On the campaign trail, Vice President Kamala Harris will be launching a bus tour in southern Georgia this week. And former President Donald Trump will first address the National Guard Association's conference in Detroit on Monday. This week, he's slated to hold a Michigan rally, a town hall in Wisconsin, and a rally in Pennsylvania. This comes after both campaigns had big weeks last week. Harris officially accepted her party's nomination for president at the Democratic National Convention that rallied its base. The Harris campaign saying they've raised $540 million in only a month since it launched. And Trump receiving the endorsement of RFK Jr. last week after the third-party candidate suspended his bid for president. Polls taken before Kennedy's endorsement show the race remains close, especially in these 7 battleground states. Republicans have sharpened their criticism on the lack of press events held by Harris. While she hasn't yet done a sit-down interview with the media since emerging as a presidential candidate, that will soon change. She is expected to sit down with her running mate Tim Walz to tape their first joint interview next week. 2 NASA astronauts who have been stuck on the International Space Station since June will have to stay there a few more months. On Saturday, the space agency decided it's not safe enough for Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams to return to Earth in Boeing's Starliner. Instead, they'll wait until February, when SpaceX already has a mission to the ISS planned and will pick them up.
Space flight is risky, even at its safest. And so the decision to keep Butch and Sonny aboard the International Space Station and bring the Boeing Starliner home uncrewed is a result of a commitment to safety.
The decision means 2 of the 4 astronauts who were supposed to go to the ISS in February for the SpaceX mission will have to give up their seats so NASA's astronauts can finally come home. They were originally only supposed to stay on the ISS for about a week. Meanwhile, SpaceX is getting ready for a high-stakes mission tomorrow. Private astronauts on the Polaris mission are set to attempt the first-ever commercial spacewalk. We're just days away from the unofficial end of summer, and this Labor Day travel weekend is gearing up to be a busy one. The TSA predicts it will be the busiest Labor Day travel period on record, with more than 17 million passengers expected to fly between this Thursday and next Wednesday. AAA says the roads won't be any less crowded as gas prices are lower than last year. If you are hitting the road, expect the heaviest traffic in the afternoon and early evening hours of Thursday and Friday. For those traveling on Saturday, AAA suggests hitting the road in the afternoon for smoother traffic. If you're returning home on Sunday or Labor Day, AAA says it's best to leave as early as possible to avoid heavy afternoon traffic. Finally this morning, almost a century after Babe Ruth called his shot during the 1932 World Series, he's making history again. Well, at least his jersey is. The jersey, worn by the New York Yankees slugger when he hit the home run to center field, sold at auction for a record $24.12 million on Sunday. Ruth's famous called shot came as the Yankees and Chicago Cubs faced off in Game 3 of the World Series at Chicago's Wrigley Field on October 1st, 1932. In the fifth inning, Ruth made a pointing gesture while at bat and then hit the home run off Cubs pitcher Charlie Root, ultimately leading to the Yankees winning the World Series. That makes it the most expensive sports memorabilia ever sold at auction. That's according to MLB.com. And these are your top stories for this Monday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, I'm Kara Rucker. Have a great day.